So you can just ask if you need to. But welcome to the social media training call. I essentially have added this call as a new call for kind of newer starters into the business, because I see like a real missing gap in terms of what is provided in the training and actually what you need to move through in terms of social media. And I know when I was a newer coach, I sort of had to just learn my way, and it took me quite a long time. And obviously, if I can share with you guys what I've learned in a way that you can start to carry through your business right now, it's really going to help you not have to kind of, just learn as you go. And I know for some of you guys, you've had a social media account for a little while. We've got some of you on here who've got brand new social media accounts. So I just want to start by saying, like, at the core of your social media, and hopefully you guys already realize this, it is so, so crucial to always be authentic and true to who you are. And the more authentic that you can be, and actually the more vulnerable you can be, which isn't easy as a new coach, particularly if you haven't really been on social media, the more that people are going to connect with you. And of course, this business is all about connections. You want to be creating genuine connections with like-minded people, because those like-minded people are likely to be the people that want to join you in your business, whether they want to join you as a customer or as a coach. It doesn't really matter. They're going to come to you because they've connected with you, okay? They've not connected with Beachbody or anything else that you're posting on your page that's kind of product-based, as the case may or may not be. And I just wanted to say that because I think, as newer coaches, and, I covered this a little bit on the Getting Started Right call, but not really in enough detail. You can have a tendency as a new coach running a business to be like, right, okay, this page is all about my business. I'm just going to post about my workouts. I'm just going to post about, loving my workouts. I'm going to post about my team, and you don't let people in at all. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be posting about that stuff, because you definitely should be, because you want to pique people's interest, but you really want to be letting them into your life a bit. So if you look at my social media, you'll see that a lot of the time, yes, I am talking about my vision, which connects to coaching, of course, what I do, where I've been, sharing some of the most vulnerable parts of my story. Okay, so I want you to really think tonight or today, hi Charlotte, about like, what's your story? Yeah, like really think about that. And you're not going to have time tonight to think about what your story is, right? But it is so, so important to think about, and really, I touched on this in the Getting Started Right as well, that really connect to your why and know why you're doing this beyond just wanting to help other people. Like, really knowing what that is, because that is how, again, you're going to connect with people. And if you haven't kind of scratched beneath the surface to work out why is it you really want to do this, like, what is it that's really exciting you, is it some vision that you have for your future? That visionary piece is so important, and you can peppercorn that through your posts. You don't have to confront it in the face every single post, and not for 1 minute am I saying do that, because I think it would just bore people and they'll leave your page. And I think the more true to yourself that you can be, the better, right? So I remember watching a training when I was a new coach, and it was a training that I dug out, and I related it to it so much. And I think this is like the danger as like a newer coach. We immediately rate our post dependent upon how many people have liked it. And I think we can all fall into that trap, all of us, me included. But actually, what you really want to do is connect with your tribe. Okay, so that might not mean that you get a lot of likes, but what matters is that you get likes from your people, right? That's so important. So when you're feeding your message out, make sure that you're letting them in a little bit to who you are. What are your core values? And your story is, it could be to do with your upbringing. It could, so today I shared a post and just said, like, do you, for you, don't, like, basically don't worry about anybody else. Don't judge other people. And I shared a little bit about when I was at school and I had a bright pink velvet leotard, and I got bullied for having a bright pink velvet leotard because nobody liked it, and I loved pink, and I didn't wear pink for a long time, but I just let people in a bit. And that isn't easy to do, but that is where actually, like, you should get an emotional feeling when you're writing your post. You should connect with them in some capacity. That's when I get most engagement, because people see that I'm real, that I'm actually letting them in, and I'm allowing them to see not only the great business that I have, and I'm really passionate and I'm enthusiastic, and often I'm really positive, yeah, because that's what this business has done for me. But I've also been where they are, or I've experienced similar things to them. And if you can start to bring people in on, you know, who you are and your story and your little quirks and things like that, you will automatically connect with your tribe, because people are either going to love that or they're probably going to hate it. And I often think about my social media and I think, do you know what? I know I'm a really, like, we're all different character types, right? And some of you guys, you know, we all like have amazing qualities for different reasons, but I'm a real extrovert, introverted extrovert actually. So a lot of people aren't going to like me. I'm that kind of person, right? You're going to love me, you're going to hate me, but I'm kind of fine with that now. And actually, if you don't like my page and it annoys you and it's not your vibe, you're going to unfollow me anyway. And actually, I don't want that person in any of my communities, whether that be my virtual gym or my coach Team in Time. Okay, so I want you to really think about those core values and how you can feed those through. And I think it's really important to also say, like, think about your avatar. And you may or may not have ever heard about this, but an avatar is what makes you you. So yes, you might like fitness, and that definitely needs to be one of the 5, but think about 5 things that make you who you are. So fitness, like someone like Clara, for example, she loves like the holistic side of things. She's really into that kind of energy. That would definitely be one of her 5 as well. And just think about the things that really fire you up, that you love and enjoy, or that you like to go and do. I don't know, you might like hiking. We call it walking in the UK, but you might like going hiking. You're going to connect with fellow women who also like to hike, and they're probably going to be your kind of person. Maybe you're an ex-athlete, maybe you're a gym, like I was a gymnast. So I don't actually talk about that much, but I was. And I've actually got coaches on my team who are gymnasts too, because they've seen it in my bio, right? So I've connected with them on a piece that isn't related to Beachbody. Maybe you're a nurse like Charlotte, or maybe you're a teacher. We've got 2 teachers on here actually, Clara and Shannon. So, you know, that, and actually talking about teachers, I will just mention someone's profile too, because she's really, really great. And she came into the business a similar time to me, and she's in my uplines, downlines. So she's basically in a similar team to me. So I'm just going to give you to her Instagram, because I think it will help you in kind of leveraging that side of things. So she is, I think she's Fitness J9 on Instagram. Yeah, she is. And she's a kindergarten teacher. So for Clara, that's kind of perfect. And she peppercorns in about teaching. So what she loves about teaching, how she loves her coach business, because it gives her the ability to do different things, but it's about helping, you know, that kind of stuff. So think about that. Yeah, it might be related to a career, but then think about just random things you might enjoy. Like, you might be like a secret geek like me. Like, I used to win all the book prizes, and I often talk about like loving to learn. Like, I'm just a bit of a geek. I've always loved learning. That's, you know, I was brought up by academic parents. That's where I am. So I'll share bits of that. And through time and peppercorning that stuff through your posts, like maybe 1 in 7, you're going to continue to connect with that same person, and they're going to continue to think in their head, oh, that girl is so my kind of girl. But if you don't let them in, and you just post about, I'm doing this new journey and I'm doing some workouts, and don't get me wrong, to start with, that's the thing you feel most comfortable, right, with, because it's what you're doing. You don't really have to let them in much. And I will honestly say, to start with, I didn't really share my son. I didn't really share my dogs. I didn't really share anything to do with my home life, because that felt really awkward. But that's where the magic happens. And the other thing that this blew my mind, and it was some training that we had at the last annual summit, and I absolutely loved it. And I've taken that through my social media forevermore. And this coach, highly successful coach, Bonnie Engel, she said, you don't ever want to give off any type of hormones or emotions that make people feel stressed or negative. Okay, so if somebody goes into your page and you're always whining, or the day's always gone wrong, or why would they follow you, right? And I'm not saying, again, like, be real if you've had a tough day, but maybe talk about, it's been really tough, but then you know, that kind of thing, because if you consistently post on I'm trying to think of the hormone, cortisol, like cortisol and all of those negative stress, people just are going to unfollow you. So you could tell them a story like that and then bring them back, and that's going to be kind of she talks about oxytocin. Charlotte will probably know what I'm talking about, like a really that's like a happiness hormone. It makes you feel better. Like maybe you've had a really difficult story and you're taking them through a story, and then there's a really great ending, and you bring them through that journey, they're going to be drawn to you. And that for me was like, I love that, because I'd kind of been conscious in my coach journey, this was a year down the track, that you want to let them in, right? You want to share your story. Like I think most of you guys know, I really sadly lost my mum almost 2 years ago, and that was really hard, and I was actually coaching when I did it, but at the time I didn't really let people in that much. One, I didn't want to, but two, it was just too much. It's too much for people, right? It's quite awkward to kind of share that kind of stuff. And I share it, but I do now share it in a way that is positive, and genuinely that's because I kind of have a positive view of my mum's life now, and I've got coaching to thank for that, and personal development and things like that. So, you know, bring them on that beautiful story, and just don't be afraid to be yourself. And that's so easy for me to sit here and say that, but that's why the personal development is so important, because your social media is why that person is going to come to you and not some other Beachbody coach, right? And so it is so important that you are individual. You perhaps start to think about, you know, I'm going to talk about apps and things as well. I strongly stand by the fact that your social media needs to be of like high standard. And the reason for that is that you are going to attract what you produce in terms of content. So if you're producing content that isn't going to immediately capture the eye when it's posted, please remember that Instagram is a visual platform, okay? They are primarily going to find your picture on perhaps that home search page, or they're going to be following you and they're going to see that photo and it's going to capture their eye and they're going to hit like. If you've written like one line and it's a really dim picture and you've not really thought about it at all, they're just going to continue scrolling. And with Instagram, the algorithm is absolutely crucial, and it's what will make or break how many people follow you back, you know, that kind of thing. Charlotte, actually, who's on this call, is CC, hold on, I can never remember your full Instagram name, Charlotte. Your cc.fitnessdiary, cc.fitness.diary. Now, and do correct me if I'm wrong here, Charlotte, do just unmute yourself, but I think she set up her Instagram like 2-3 months ago, is that right?
Yeah, so I set my Instagram page up towards the end of February. So wow. I've been running March, April, and a couple of weeks into May. It's roughly about 10 weeks, I think.
And she has over 4,000 followers. That she's built that completely organically, which blows my mind, because my Instagram definitely didn't grow in that rate. And I'm not saying that everybody's will. I want to be perfectly honest, but if you go to Charlotte's Instagram and you look at her pictures, and do chip in here if you want, Charlotte, she just takes about 15 or 20 minutes, I should think, correct me if I'm wrong, thinking about what picture she's going to post and making sure that she's got the setting right. Do you want to talk?
Yeah, no, that's right. Like, it's even getting to the point now, because obviously we're stuck in the house or the garden. Me and Ross are going around the house now going, where else can I get a photo in this house? Like, because I don't like when you go on someone's Instagram page and every photo is in front of the same mirror. I think it's just tedious. Like, every single post is the same. It's got different captions, it's got different workouts. But I try and like just mix it up as best I can. I try and keep my Instagram colourful, bright. I put the text on it, so it's like, this post is about a giveaway, this post is about a back workout, this post is about coaching, like, and I'll put like a little word on it as well, so if people save it and they go back to it, then they can see which one's which. So yeah. But yeah, it takes me, I spend probably about 2 hours a day on this Instagram, doing my videos, editing them, trying to get a photo and stuff. I do spend quite a lot of time on it, to be honest, but I enjoy doing it, so it's fine. Yeah. I really enjoy doing it.
And I'm not like, I wouldn't advise anyone to like start thinking they need to spend 2 hours a day doing that. And obviously Charlotte said she loved it. She loves it. And Claire, who I used to work with, she loved it too, and she would spend like so much time on it. And I'm not that person, okay, I'll be perfectly honest. Like, I'm naturally like an organized mess. Like, I'm organized, but it's always going to be slightly messy, and that's me, that's who I am. Again, like, I'm never going to be perfect because that's not me, and it's not true to who I am, and it's probably not true to my tribe. Okay, so but that's great. And I think what we can see with the trajectory of Charlotte's business is that she started that account 10 weeks ago, and she really thinks about how she's going to post. She definitely thinks about her branding without question. That's very clear. You see one of Charlotte's posts, you know it's one of her posts. And I think that's so crucial. And I'm not saying for 1 minute, like, go and do the same as Charlotte, because we're all different. Again, like Charlotte, I feel like I'm talking for Charlotte. She's not able to talk for herself, but she's a real gym bunny. Like, she loves the gym. She came into this like loving the gym. She loved recording gym workouts. That's her tribe. Okay. And so you'll see Charlotte's is a lot of gym workouts or style workouts. And that really works well for her because that's her tribe. And she's connecting with them because it's genuine. And so my posts obviously don't look like that, but that works for her. So just think about, like, maybe think about what colors you like, what colors kind of reflect who you are. Like, I'm always into pastels. I love, bright colors as well. Even think about that. And then think about, I think it's a really good idea when you're a new coach to have a weekly planner of how you're going to post. So that even if you're not planning ahead, so that when you've done your post for the day, say you have spoken about fitness, the next day you're not going to talk about fitness. Okay, you're going to talk about something else. Like, maybe you're going to talk about, I don't know, top tips for lockdown that how you've dealt with it. Like, that would be a really good one. And this is something perhaps you should write down as well. I'm going to share 3 things. Your post should always inspire, educate, or motivate. Okay, if it's not doing one of those 3 things, don't post it. Yeah. Unless, like, maybe 1 in 7, I think it is good to do just like a short caption, throw away, here's me chilling, like whatever. Like, at the weekend, I'll often post like just chilling with my pups outside or something like that. That's just not really related to anything, but just kind of shows that I'm real, I have a real life. I don't just do coaching, and it's just a bit off the, because Instagram likes the shorter caption posts as well. So inspire, educate, and motivate. Yeah, those are the 3 things that it should do. And then I just think it is so important to then think about, what your hashtags are going to be. Okay. So don't know, some of you know more about hashtags than others, I'm sure, but your Instagram allows you up to 30 hashtags. Okay. And the hashtags are how people are going to find you when you start out. So if you're going to use 10 hashtags with a new account, you're doing yourself a massive disservice, because you are getting 1/3 of the engagement that you could have if you'd have used 20 more, right? So really think about that. There is an app, I don't use it, but I'm just going to share it because I think for you guys who are new, it could be really helpful. It's called Plann, Plann. And it helps you plan your Instagram posts. You can even place them in a grid and work out where they would look best. Now, personally, I don't like that, because I like to write my post on the day, and I don't like to have myself boxed in. That's me. Like, I'm super creative and I love to write a post I connect with on the day. But a lot of coaches will plan their content, and if you're that kind of person, go for it. Plann has the ability, I think it's an upgrade, I think it's probably like, maybe it's $10 a month, and in UK it's probably like 10 quid a month. It's not that much. The premium one, it helps you grade the hashtags. And hashtags, you want to be going between the sort of 10,000 to, when you've got a newer account, about 500,000 rating of hashtags, i.e. there are 10,000 or 500 or up to 500,000 people following that hashtag. And Plann, Plann, will grade the hashtags as you write them out. And I think it goes like green, yellow, red. And I can't remember which is which. But it's really good if you're trying to find hashtags. And really think about, like, what hashtags would work for you. Like, again, like, what fitness hashtags work for you. Like, I'm a fitness mum. I use fitness mum and fitness mum. So the US version of mum and the UK version, because of course that's what I am. I use career girl, corporate girl, because I was a career girl. I used female entrepreneur. I use female CEO. Some of those aren't going to be relevant for you, but just really think about that. And I put like toddler mum, you know, work from home mum, you know, all of those ones that I connect with, ex-athlete sometimes because I was a gymnast. It just depends on the post, but I generally have a group of hashtags that I use. Now, don't use the same hashtags for every post because it will get you, they'll think you're a bot. So just make sure that you change those up. And I would always advise using 28 hashtags. The reason for that is that I did a course a little while back, and the woman said if you use 30, you're tipping at the edge of them thinking you're a bot. So I usually go around 28 hashtags. The next thing I'm going to share is something that in the beginning I found really hard, and I know for all of us it's really hard, and that is getting in front of the camera. And I remember when I started my Instagram, I just thought, oh my God, everyone is going to think I'm so vain. Like all they're seeing is photos of me. Like it's really vain. It feels really uncomfortable. But I kind of felt like that was how I was going to build connection. And intuitively, that's kind of what I did, even though it felt uncomfortable. And then I did, it was a Jenna Kutcher podcast, and she's actually a photographer. And she did a whole podcast on like Instagram. And so I'm sharing like bits I picked up everywhere. But she said, if you don't get in front of the camera like 8 out of 10 posts, you are really like doing your business a disservice, because people have come to your page to connect with you. Okay. And I think it's great to mix it up with captions and things like that. But the way that people build a connection, imagine like real life, how do people build a connection with you? They see your face. Okay. And if your photo is dark, and if you can't see your face in almost all of them, or even your face isn't in them, they aren't going to connect with you. Your page might look fantastic, but they're not going to draw connection to you. And that's why if you look at my page a lot of the time, actually less so recently, but yeah, I try like every few to really get my face in there. Yeah. I want people to like connect with me. And that might sound really weird, and it probably is quite weird, but it's the truth. Like if you think about maybe someone's Instagram that you like, why have you liked their Instagram? It's probably because you connect with their face somehow. Like you, I don't know, like you just form a connection through seeing their face over and over again. And that's so important to creating relationship with these people, as you might be chatting in the background. So that really helped me. When she said that, I never ever worried about posting my face ever again, or people thinking that I was vain, because ultimately it's about serving your people, and your people can't connect with you if you're not showing your face. I would definitely advise, you know, if you're serious about your business, investing in a light ring. That was something that I honestly did way too late. You can video your workouts with the light ring. You can take your photos with the light ring, and it just, well, I've got a light ring on now, so you can see like my skin is glowing, you know, and it then you take a photo and it's much clearer. So definitely invest in a light ring. I advise, now I'm going to tell you which one it is. You don't need to do it immediately now, right? Just see how you go. But if you've got the ability to invest in your business, I strongly suggest a light ring. It is newer. I say newer, but it's N, 2 E's, a W, an E, and an R. So I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the light ring I've got, and it comes in like a bag, and it's got a stand, and it's got different, you can put different colors on here, and you can dim it and brighten it. Were you going to say something, Charlotte? Oh, okay. So when I got my light ring, I was like, damn, my photos look so much better. Like, why did I waste all this time? Because of course the photo is your one opportunity to, you know, say you posted a photo, you could get 50 likes, or, you know, it depends on the size of you could get 300. It's going to depend on that photo, right? If you've got 300 likes, you've got like 6 times the number of people to contact, 6 times the number of people to invite. See how that works. Yeah. So that's your business. It really is the lifeblood to your business. And think about it. Like, and it really did freak me out when I started thinking about it. So I was like, oh, is it really? Someone said it's your shop front. Well, it is. It's your shop front. And if you aren't showing up in the best version of yourself, being true to who you are, that being said, like, don't pretend to be someone you're not. I'm not saying that for like any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't want anyone to do that, because I think you've always got to be true to who you are. But you are going to attract that quality of customer or that quality of client based on the quality of your page. Okay. And it is so, so important. And I've really noticed that as the quality of my page has improved, and my journey, and this is what I love about this, right? You're just starting your journey, but as I've kind of grown through the journey, and I'm I'm genuinely much more content and much happier in my own skin, and probably the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm attracting more of somebody on that wavelength and higher caliber in terms of people coming into my coach business. So really think about that. Like, as you start to post, and you probably got brand new pages, but I think it really helps to have this on, like, as you start, like, would you want to join you? Like, that's something that I always ask myself. Would I want to join me? Do I have FOMO? Is this person painting a picture of, this is awesome, like, I have to be a part of this? So that's, like, I've obviously covered a lot on posting, and I do think, like, this is something I did from day one, and it's certainly what all of my uplines do. There is never a day that they miss a post. They post every single day, and so do I. Like, every single day. I think I missed 3 days because I got blocked on Instagram once, and that was my consistency. Okay, because that, again, it's going to help the algorithm when you've got a new account. And when I was new, I did 2 posts a day because I was like, I need to get engagement. I'm going to post 2 posts a day. And again, I'm not saying you need to do that, because it definitely depends what time you have. But I set myself that goal. I was like, I'm going to produce 2 posts a day. That's what I'm going to do. Now, stories are absolutely huge. And I was actually talking to Charlotte about this earlier on our one-on-one. Stories are really where people get to know you, really where they get to know you. Okay, so your post needs to be sharp. It needs to draw people in. The photo should pop. Before I move on to stories, you've just reminded me myself. Snapseed, the app, is phenomenal, and I use it for pretty much every post. It's got all of these different settings, and I generally have similar settings I put on every post so that they have this similar kind of look and feel. Now, you can get presets, which you download into Lightroom, but honestly, I found them a bit complicated, and I didn't like having the same hue across every photo, because in the UK we have very different seasons. Same for you guys in Canada, I think. So it doesn't really work, and I didn't want to be held to a preset. I wanted to, again, be able to put my creativity on my picture. So moving on to stories, that's where you really build connection. Okay, so as I said, like, you are going to build most connection by people seeing your face, seeing a nice bright picture of your face in a post. What's the nearest thing that we can get to actual human physical contact, building a relationship and a connection? Video chat. Okay, that is where you are going to form your connections. That's where you're going to build your trust with your people. And you're probably all thinking, oh, well, that's just awful, because I'm absolutely terrified about doing videos on my Instagram stories. And I get it. Like, I remember doing my first Instagram story, and actually I was still at Savills, my property company that I work for. And I messaged my old colleague, and I was like, oh my God, Rosie, can you just check my story? I've just done like a video. Oh, should I take it down? Oh, I think it's awful. She was like, no, it's amazing. I was like, oh, phew. Literally, I was shaking when I did that video. So I can still remember it now. And I just want to share that, because I think sometimes we think that that person never felt that fear, right? But they all do. And you just kind of got to push past it to think about, am I going to find my future coaches and my future people that really need my help if I don't get on those stories and share what's going on? So earlier on, I sent in that message thread. I don't know if you've had the chance to have a look, but this is really related to the IG stories, and I love it. Like, how it's basically everything you need to cover on your story. So did you share a clip from your workout? Now, again, like, I share like 3 or 4, but again, this is like my full-time thing. If you want to share 1 or 2 clips of your workout, that is fine, but make sure, for goodness sake, as a like bare minimum, you're sharing your workout clips in your stories. Because again, sometimes coaches say to me, well, I'm inviting loads and no one's interested. And I go into their stories and, like, there's no like proof that they're doing anything related to fitness. So how on earth is that invite going to make any sense unless they've got a sense of the community, unless they've got a sense of the workouts, So really think, when you're posting your stories, does this give somebody who has no idea what I'm doing a little tidbit of what I'm doing to get them to kind of understand? So you'll see in my stories, I also screen record my virtual gym. And if you don't own your own or run your own one yet, you can do the same. Like, Charlotte's definitely been doing that, and she's been getting a lot of interest because she's showing people, hey, this is the community, this is what we're loving. And that, more than anything right now, guys, I can tell you, is what people are craving. They they want this remote community, right? We're all in lockdown or in social isolation. So just screen recording that is so amazing. And I would advise you as newer coaches to probably do that once a day. Put that on your list to do once a day. It will take you 20 seconds to screen record that and to share it and to let them in. Did you share at least one of the Beachbody products? So I tend to go a bit crazy on the Beachbody products because I want to show people that my results are very much related to the product, and I genuinely stand by that, because I just had Shakeology for like a year, and then I had Energize and Recover, and my results were like insane in comparison. And I know Ginny has recently done that in our team, and her results were insane because she just went on to all of the products. So don't feel that you have to share all three like I do, but again, like this is kind of full time for me. But just make sure you share. Like if you're having a Shakeology, try to make it look nice. Like try not to just put it in a shaker cup and shake it up, because that's just like, you're like every other girl out there, right, that's sharing Beachbody. They're just shaking their stuff up in a cup. So with the Shakeology, like you'll see with mine, I like make it with banana. I try to put it in a like smoothie bowl. If you've got more time, definitely like decorate it if you want. I definitely did in the beginning, but now I've got my son at home all the time. It's, you know, you've got to work with what you've got, right? And stories is a place where you can be a bit more messy, right? Because you're real. People want to connect with you and they want to see that. Did you add value to your target market? And this, I absolutely love it, because that's so true, right? They've got value from your post, but have they got value from your stories? Like, are they going to go back to your stories because they've got some value that you've given them? So a quote, a book, a tip, or a recipe. I put quotes up a lot. Like I like recipes, but again, I've never been that into cooking. So you're never going to find loads of recipe tips from me. Like I'm just not really into it. And I think trying to force stuff that you don't enjoy as a coach, to say you're not that interested in it, it's you're just going to find it like a chore. So like if I'm doing food prep and I'm sharing up my story, I find it like really chory. I just don't like doing it. So you'll see me share some stuff, but not really. But what else can you share? So maybe if you don't like to share your nutrition, and that's not to say you shouldn't be eating healthy, because you definitely should. As a coach, like 80% of your results is going to be nutrition, but I don't like to spend ages making my food look pretty. Maybe you're like really into your mindset, or you're reading a book and you found a quote, and something that you have if you have a physical copy of a personal development book that is awesome, is to just highlight it or circle it and then share it in your stories. Something that's enlightened you, like let them in on that mindset journey, because that's what's going to pique people's interest in what is this girl doing. Like she's working out, but she's also working on her mind. And again, it depends what kind of person you are, but I'm really into the mindset stuff, so I share that. Yeah, and did you talk on the camera about something so they can get to know you? And I try to talk 3 times a day, but I'm not saying that you should do that. Maybe, once a day to start is absolutely fine. But try, if you can, to share something that isn't just related to coaching. Like maybe, I don't know, like I've had a nightmare with my son because he's been chasing my dog around the house with a balloon and she's really scared, things like that. Just something that, again, like my mum's can connect with me. Like it's a bit like mayhem over there, but it is, because we're in lockdown and I've got young kids, so that they can build connection. And I genuinely stand by the business activity tracker, which I still haven't sent you guys from last night, so I will. On the business activity tracker, if you don't have it already, the middle section makes it really easy for you. So I'm just going to fold it for you and show it to you here. So does that read the right way around, guys? We're all on mute, so I don't know. But there's a middle section, and it basically says daily life, like anything to do with daily life. It could be a photo, it could be a video, workout clips, or one workout clip as the case may be for you. Product use, so that'd be probably just a Shakeology. Healthy meal or prep, like you'll often get my breakfast, because that's the thing I put most effort into, honestly. So like I love my like oatmeal, I love like having my eggs and avocado. If my husband's made like turkey meatballs, I might share those, but chances are I haven't made it myself. And then invite, promote a group, or call to action. So I think to start with, call to action, for those of you guys that don't know what it is like actively basically inviting somebody in a video or in some visuals you've produced, maybe about a boot camp, that's most likely. But it could just be you, as I just said, like sharing the group, right? And you could just put text over it. If you're really scared about that side of things to start with, which I think is quite normal, you could just screen record it and put, I don't know what, things like, I don't know where I'd be without this community for my workouts, or it holds me accountable. Because what you want to do with that is just connect with somebody's like pleasure and pain point. I don't know whether you guys have ever heard about that, pleasure and pain points. The most powerful posts for really drawing your people in and getting people to make a decision are sharing pleasure and pain posts, or pleasure and pain stories. So that's like I used to, maybe you like, I used to not be able to motivate myself to work out, and I don't know where I'd be without this accountability group because they push me through, right? That's like pain, I couldn't work out, pleasure, now I can, and I'm loving it. Yeah. That's how you do it in a story. In a post, it would be, you may have seen in my post sometimes. The other day I did a post, and this is one, let me just, because this is something again that I had no idea about at all for quite a long time, with pleasure and pain points. It's something that I learned from Angie Lee in her podcast. Angie Lee's podcast is amazing, by the way. Angie Lee, she's a marketer. So this is pleasure and pain. Looking back at how I came into coaching just over 2 years ago, it's amazing just how much I've grown, and I help my global team too. The feeling's pretty magical. I came into this lacking confidence, worried about what others thought of me. I constantly sought approval. I didn't believe I was capable. I hated my corporate property career. So I'm trying to connect with my corporate girls who are stuck in, maybe London. They hate it. They want to, yeah. And now I have this confidence I've never had. I don't worry about what others think. It's my life, career, and path. I'm my own person, and it's our God-given right to be true to who we are. I know I'm capable of achieving my goals and dreams. I love the career I've created for myself as CEO of my own business. So can you see, like, I shared my pain, my, like, how hard it was, relating to people who are where I was, right? And I think that's really important as you move through this journey. It's going to be really important. And now where you are. And hitting pain and pleasure points in a post is unbelievably powerful. Okay, because people are going to read that and be like, damn, I need that in my life, or damn, I connect with that. I'm that person. How, like, she's obviously made her way through it, I can too. That's where you're going to get that interest. So that pleasure and pain point in the way that you just share that challenge group, as I said in the stories, is really powerful, and it's actually really simple. And if you do that over and over again quite a lot, and you share, maybe you're doing Zoom workouts with others on your time zone, that is enormously powerful at the moment, because again, people want that remote community. And then recognition or a shout out, or maybe it's just someone in your boot camp that's doing well, that's not even your customer, and someone shouted them out and you're like, look at this amazing transformation in our group, whatever. Or maybe there's a new coach that's done well on our team page, just sharing that. And as I said at the beginning, just be true to who you are. Like, when you're a newer coach, and we're all guilty of this as newer coaches, well, I certainly was, I would look at coaches doing really well and I'd be like, okay, I need to be more like that. Okay, maybe you need to be a bit more professional, but you don't need to be more like them. Okay, because you're your own person. And I think it's really important that when you create that post, whether it's short or long, you genuinely connect with it. And it can be on any level, guys, but I think it's so important. Like in the beginning, I would often, like, I'll be honest, go and be like, okay, I don't know what to post about it. I'm going here, oh, that looks really good, I'll just share something along those lines. But that wasn't me, that wasn't my post, right? And actually, I'm not going to be connecting with my tribe because it's not me. So I know that's a lot. I think the avatar is really important. So the action points for this call, like, sit down, and you guys who are teachers, you probably have done this mind mapping. Just get a circle in the middle and write, like, my avatar. And even to start with, you could have like 15 things that make you, but sit down and do it. And maybe you love, like, I love fashion. So like, I tend to try and post something of me in like clothes that I love every so often, because I do really love fashion, and I'm not just about fitness. So I kind of feed that through. But what do you love? Maybe what did you love before coaching? What do you enjoy? You could enjoy going out for drinks with friends. You could enjoy gin and tonic. I don't know, like, just think about those and get them all onto that, like, mind map. And then think about them and think about, what are my 5? Yeah, so fitness is going to be one of them. You could love reading. You could love further learning. You could love hiking. I don't know, you name it. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Like Angie Belmar, for example, she's like Network's top 10 always. She loves donuts and Disney. And she's basically built her whole entire brand on donuts and Disney. And her page, I absolutely like love it. She wears like Disney ears. She's over the top. Her interior of her house is like completely over the top. You're going to love her or you're going to hate her. And she does edit her photos quite a lot, but I love it because the whole page pops. So she's a good example of someone that just grasped who she was. She obviously did personal development because she wasn't afraid to be who she was, and she's built the most phenomenal business on it. So she'll do, like, you know, I think in her bio it says Disney and Donuts. And that's another thing, your Instagram bio. Perhaps have a look at mine, go and have a look at other coaches and think about, you know, so mine is basically who I am, like my career journey at the top: corporate property gal to business owner and mentor, help women lead healthy, happy lives. And then I put my bit about being a certified PT, ex-gymnast and hurdler. So I try to get those bits in there. And it's quite short, that little bio piece. So it is important to kind of capture, you know, who, like, really, who are you? Yeah, in that little caption is really important. And think about that photo for when people are searching for you. What's your photo? It should be a clear image of your face in some capacity, ideally. Long shots are great, and you will find some like really good coaches doing that, but people can't, again, it's about that initial connection. You've got one little chance on that little circle. So just think about that. And I can promise you, like, most of my photos, so I'm just looking at my past few photos, I've done with a photo timer. So that one from earlier on today, I could have got Guy to take it, but I literally just downloaded photo timer. It snapped onto my iPhone. You can set the time. I got my phone in the right position after I'd finished my workout. It took me about 3 minutes. Took those photos, came out, edited it in Snapseed. That probably took me another 5 minutes max, and wrote my caption. So don't feel like, I know, like, a lot of my coaches said to me, but it's okay for you because you've got someone that takes the photo. But actually, most of the time I haven't. Guy, my husband, isn't that keen in taking photos of me. So don't let that stop you if you haven't got someone else there, or you haven't got a spouse that can help you out, or maybe they just don't want to. But yeah, like, don't let it hold you back. And, you know, be creative. Like, I snapped a tripod the other day, and we've got this like thing that we hold the salt and pepper in the center of the kitchen table, and I use that to hold my phone. So, like, there's always a way around it. I can promise you, if you're like determined to get that shot, you will. So has anyone got, that went on way longer than I thought it would, but hopefully that was useful. Does anyone want to ask any questions?
I have a question. Sometimes, you know, when I'm recording workouts, I'm like afraid, you know, like what, you know, let's say I'm doing triceps, and what if I'm doing it wrong? And then, you know, I don't know,